life each day of the week. Come on, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. What you waiting for? Come and take a seat. Like and subscribe, this is where you wanna be. Cause you know we gon' talk about it. Let's talk about it. Get in here, we in here tonight. So get in here, we in here to vibe.
Hey y'all, I came back live because we need to talk a little further, okay, about this situation. All right, so y'all pull on up. I know this is not going to be everybody's cup of tea, and I'm okay with that, okay? But I need you guys to pull up. What is, oh, okay, never mind. I need to fix my camera. But let's talk for a minute, you guys. This is just for the people that care to hear about what we're about to discuss, okay? Hold on, I need to change. I don't know why it does this. Give me a second. Give me a second. I don't know why it does this and it takes away my background. Why does it does that? There we go. Okay. So if you're interested, come on in, y'all. Let's talk about this program. We need to, she said, what do you do now? We're gonna talk about the exclusion of the we're gonna talk about the inclusion programs that the government is now, or the Department of Defense is now trying to snatch, okay? And we're gonna go a little bit deeper because I only gave a very small context in the last live stream, but I do think that we need to dive a little bit deeper. And maybe I'll come on and do these little small, it's not gonna be long, little updates on what's going on in the political world. I don't wanna make my channel political, but at the same time, it's things that we need to know, you guys, okay? So let's talk about this for a minute, all right? Because it's not just the Black History program that Donald Trump and his administration is targeting, okay? There are other programs, and I know I slightly mentioned it, but I want y'all to hear what's going on. And y'all don't keep up with the news and finding out what's going on in the administration or whatever, come on over here. We ain't gonna spend no long hours and go back and forth and debate each other on it, but we'll have a conversation, a mature adult conversation about what is going on. Are y'all okay with that? Are y'all okay with that? So I want to play a video of them reading out what Trump's initial plan to snatch the identity programs. When I say identity programs, Black History Month, Juneteenth, Woman History, Asian Pacific History, A Pride Month. I'm sure I'm missing some, y'all. I'm sure I'm missing some. But I want y'all to know, not only is he trying to make them go away, now he's trying to say he don't want the military to celebrate these particular programs. Now, if you know, you know, right? But for some of us that was in the military, this was a part of our training. Y'all remember that diversity program training? We literally had to go to diversity program training. Basically, our name had to appear on a roster that says that we know all about diversity. We know about woman history. We know about Asian Pacific history. We know about these different inclusions months and the reason, or celebrations, should I say, or programs. And the reason why we had to know about the programs, because if you did anything to violate or violate or disrespect these programs, you were held accountable for that. Now they're basically saying we don't want the military to push these programs. We don't want them to take time out of their day to celebrate these programs. This is actually a bigger deal than we think it is. Okay, so I want y'all to hear something right quick, just to see where we're going. Okay, because Donald Trump has a way, President Trump, I don't want to disrespect our president because that's just not in me to do. But President Trump has a way of causing conflict to further divide than to close the gap on division. He has a way of doing that, okay? And if we're not careful, it will be two Americas. Actually, it will be divided it will be divided in more than two parts if we're not careful, okay? So I want y'all to pay attention to something, and we're going to talk about this, okay? All right, here we go.
I want to take you back to another developing story that we are following at this hour as we received a release from Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, who was sworn in just about a week ago. He now says in this news release that identity months are dead at the Department of Defense. I want to read this for you in full. Again, this is all that release coming in from Hegseth. He says guidance from the Secretary of Defense: our unity and purpose are instrumental to meeting the department's warfighting mission. Efforts to divide the force, to put one group ahead of another, erode camaraderie, and threaten mission execution. Going forward, DoD components and military departments will not use official resources to include man hours to host celebrations or events related to cultural awareness months, including National African American Black History Month, Women's History Month, Asian American and Pacific Islander.
Now, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm going to be stopping and talking in between because y'all know how I do. Now, the fact that they are even saying that they want to end cultural awareness is trouble in itself, because believe it or not, I fought with people in the military that never met a Black person in real life until they came to the military. So not bringing awareness to someone else's culture could actually be troublesome, okay? When you don't know how a person, their background, then you may not understand how they do things. It took me joining the military and being around other people to realize that white people wash their hair every day. I would not have known that if I stayed in my hometown around people that look and talk like me. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So culture awareness is important, okay? And that's another reason why I travel outside of the United States, for more cultural awareness, to get to know other cultures, so I would know how they were raised and how they see things, because lots of people see things differently, okay? So again, to even say they want to take away the programs to bring about cultural awareness is very troublesome, okay?
Heritage Month, Pride Month, National Hispanic Heritage Month, National Disability Employment Awareness Month, and National American Indian Heritage Month. Service members and civilians remain permitted to attend these events in an unofficial capacity outside of duty hours. Installations, units, and offices are encouraged to celebrate the valor and success of military heroes of all races, genders, and backgrounds as we restore our warrior culture and ethos. We are proud of our warriors and their history, but we will focus on the character of their service instead of some characteristics. This guidance is effective immediately. Again, that is a statement here that was just posted on social media coming in from Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, who was sworn into office just weeks ago, one of the first to be confirmed by the Senate from President Trump's second administration. We know it was a deadlock last Friday night. You had it 50-50, and then Vice President J.D. Vance did cast that deciding vote, and the next day we covered live as Hegseth was sworn into office by Vice President Vance. Again, any updates on this, we will bring those to you here on Live Now from Fox.
In a statement just days ago, the Department of Defense said they will no longer recognize cultural awareness months, including Black History Month, which begins tomorrow. The statement said this new guidance comes from Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. The DoD will also no longer recognize Women's History Month.
I want y'all to see this for a minute. The guidance from the vice president says that DoD and military following culture months no longer recognize Black history, women history, Hispanic history, Asian American and Pacific Islander heritage, disability employment awareness, and American Indian heritage. And I'm sure there's more.
Disability Employment Awareness Month and Hispanic Heritage Month, among several others. The full list, you can see it on your screen right now. The president of the Hampton NAACP, Galen Knoyden, said this move by the DoD, as well as efforts by President Donald Trump to ban DEI programs in federal workplaces, quote, threaten the progress we have made in fostering an inclusive society and undermine the very principles of equality.
This doesn't even sound right to me. Like, I don't understand how anybody can think a diversity program is a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. A diversity program is just saying that we want it, because diversity program doesn't just put a highlight just Black people. Diversity is of all races, ages, sexes, different choices. You know what I'm saying? Diversity is recognizing everybody. Everybody. It's just an inclusive program. It's not just based on your race. I don't understand why that is not necessary in our world. The whole world should have a diversity program. The whole world should have a diversity program.
And justice that are foundational to our democracy.
The news we're following tonight in response to an executive order signed by President Donald Trump. Many federal agencies have banned 11 annual events, including Martin Luther King Jr. Day, Pride Month, and even Black History Month, which begins tomorrow.
And that executive order bans diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. Our Christina Burgess joins us now live. And Christina, I know you had a chance to speak with some local organizations and community members today. Some events already being canceled here in Jacksonville.
Yeah, guys.
So that means they are already canceling programs. Do y'all hear this shit? Like, they are already starting to cancel programs. Like, they have women history programs, Black history programs, all different type of programs throughout. They are already canning these programs. Make that make sense right quick, you guys.
Right. Our local U.S. Army Corps of Engineers has recently canceled their Black History Month event. And they tell us that they're abiding by President Donald Trump's executive order, and that cancellation is directly impacting a Jacksonville city councilman.
For me, Black History Month happens every day, right? Because I am an African American in this country.
Like many Americans in this country, Jacksonville City Councilman Dr. Ruckman Johnson is used to celebrating Black History Month every year. So it came as a surprise to not only Dr. Johnson, but other local community activist groups when federal agencies announced Friday that they will be pausing historical observances that would affect 11 annual events, including Martin Luther King Jr. Day, Women's History Month, Pride Month, and Black History Month, to comply with President Trump's executive orders banning diversity, equity, and inclusion programs.
And his thing is to continue to increase this division amongst working people.
And that's what it's all about right now, you guys. Division. Please pay attention. This is all about dividing. Dividing, because you are weaker when you are not together, and you are stronger when you are together. He wants to divide, conquer, and divide. Pay attention.
Just recently, Dr. Johnson was directly impacted by the president's order. He was expected to be a speaker for the Army Corps of Engineers Jacksonville District Black History Month event, but it was canceled. In this statement sent to us by the Army Corps of Engineers, they say, quote, "The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers Jacksonville District was directed by the DoD and USACE headquarters to postpone all diversity, equity, and inclusion related observance events and trainings until further guidance is received in accordance with President Trump's executive order." Johnson wants to use this unexpected moment to send a bigger message to the public.
I think so often we think that someone can tell us what to do or what not to do. The beauty of it is that we should just walk past it, fly above it.
And I reached out to the mayor's office today to ask them would they still be putting on the events that are scheduled for Black History Month. And I was told that they will continue to have the Martin Luther King Jr. parade on February 17th. And they will also have a Black History Month celebration on February 13th. They also told me that they will continue to celebrate Jacksonville's diverse communities, regardless of what is happening outside of our city. Reporting live in Dallas.
Okay, so as we see right there, you guys, this is absolutely ludicrous. Again, the end of the culture awareness programs by this administration is, I can't say shocking, because we've had this administration, well, we've had this president before, even though it is different administration members, we've had this type of president before, but it seems like he is coming stronger and more firm on ending these programs. Now, let's talk about the impact of these programs. Now, before we get there, let's talk about, I know some people are going to try to say, no. What they're trying to say is they want everybody to be on equal playing field. And for many years, they have given people an opportunity to catch up. You understand what I'm saying? Like, oh, we shouldn't have these cultural awareness programs no more because we're one America. But we're one America with a lot of different cultures, people coming from other cultures within America, okay? And you know what? To be honest with you, other countries may not make their different programs federal holidays, but they definitely still acknowledge different cultures, okay? Let me give you an example. UAE, where my husband and I live, that is where Dubai is at. The country is called UAE, okay? United something Emirates, whatever. But that's where we lived, okay? Dubai. They are a Muslim country. They don't celebrate Christmas. However, because they know that they have Christians, because they got a bunch of people from other countries living there, they celebrate it. It's not a federal holiday, but they celebrate it in honor of the people within that country that celebrates it. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, to totally now try to say the military cannot honor this, or, you know, shouldn't do it during working hours, to me is crazy, because I say let them continue to do it or whatever, and don't make it a mandate. If people don't want to attend, they're not mandated to attend like how we were mandated at one point. I understand you're not mandated to attend, but don't just pull the plug and say it's not permitted during work hours, meaning that they want you to celebrate different cultures outside of your work hours. Okay. Absolutely ludicrous. Our military don't just live in America. We live in other cultures. We live in other countries. How are you expected to know how this culture handle things, do things without the programs? I don't understand who's up there that's responsible or not even thinking about these type of things for our military soldiers, not just military, because the military is not the only entity that is affected by this. It's going to affect all of us, because once they start snatching the plug for diversity and inclusive programs, it's going to be a trickle effect. And all of these businesses that's been going along with it so far, they're going to snatch the plug as well. Okay. You're going to stop seeing your big box retail stores celebrating in all these different diversity programs, Women History Month, Black History Month. Next thing you know, are we going to snatch Christmas? Are we going to snatch Columbus Day? Because we really can peel back the onion and snatch some of these days that's been a lie to us all. Are we going to do that? We don't see those days being affected. Right now, it appears that what's being affected affect Black and brown people. That's what is coming off. Even though we know diversity, the DEI program also assists and helped white women business owners as well. But we have to be careful and not sleep on this type of information, because this can actually affect a lot of us. I think not bringing cultural awareness to people here in the United States is going to be a problem. Like I said, it was a white guy that I worked with that never seen Black people. And matter of fact, he even told me that he's only seen Black people on TV and listening to his mom tell him about Black people and what his mother told him, because she was a social worker of majority Black single mothers. This man was going around thinking that all Black women are unwedded, bunch of kids, and the man won't marry them. A lot of these people have not seen outside of the Cosby Show, a good, solid Black family, which is absolutely crazy. This is absolutely crazy. So at any rate, even though Donald Trump signed the Black History Month proclamation, he still stands on not permitting the federal government to recognize those programs during duty hours. Now, he has not lifted that. He's lifted his acknowledgement of Black history, but he has not lifted his order of no longer celebrating cultural awareness in the military. That is crazy to me. That is definitely not a military that I could even recognize. What is what I want to say? Is what I want to say. Oh my God. I don't know what's worse, taking a prayer out of school or taking cultural awareness out of our lives. Why wouldn't anybody want cultural awareness? Your neighbor could be from a whole nother culture, and do things that you're not even aware of. And you're trying to figure out, why do you do this? Well, that's what cultural awareness was for. To get you sped up on other people, how they handle things, how they do things. Anyway, I just thought that I would come back on here. She's just shaking my head, job pays for Martin Luther King Day. What do you mean, Yolanda? Your job pays for that? Oh, I don't think that that's going to be cut. Yeah, you work for the government. I don't think that they're not going to. What are you saying? Are you thinking that you're no longer going to get paid for working on that day? He didn't cut it as a federal holiday. Oh, the internet sister's going live. Oh, you said is she? I'm sure she is. She's just not live yet. She's just not live yet. She said, remember when we used to pledge allegiance, they took that out of the school program. You completely, yes, they did. Absolutely did. And it's been not good since. But I mean, that's that. How do y'all feel about that? How do y'all feel about that? Is it just me? Do anybody have any feelings about that? What about his white culture? But let me tell you something. She said, watch him be a hypocrite and can't stand him. His wife, you know, because of the color of her skin, they think people that have the same color as them are white. Believe it or not, I know even though we have a lot of different races around here, some white people only see, well, I ain't gonna say some people only see two races, and that's white and black. Believe it or not. Believe it or not. They only see two races, black or white, and they judge it by what your skin tone look like. You're either white or black. They're not even looking at it as far as how much percent of African you have in you. They're looking at what does your skin look like? Oh, you work at Amazon. She said, yes, I am disgusted that more people aren't outraged. And I feel like they're not outraged because people are literally taking this president as a joke because of what we had the last time. He came out here, he cracked a lot of jokes, he laughed around, and he was pretty much goofy, right? But it seems like he's coming full force this time. It seems like he's really trying to stir the pot, if you will. He's trying to shake some things. It's not just him being goofy old President Donald Trump anymore. He's really trying to make a wild statement, a bold statement. So, but anyway, I wanted to come back because I kind of wanted us to peel back the onion just a little bit and just know the impact it's going to have on a lot of businesses, a lot of the military in itself, a lot of organizations is going to be affected by this. I don't know if this is something they plan on later lifting, but to say that these cultural awareness and inclusive programs are dead, really? This is crazy. I'm just sitting up here trying to think of a military without inclusions programs. How do you not have inclusion programs in our military of all things? But I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to put everybody on the same playing field. He wants everybody. This is what he's saying. He's basically saying, I want people to be judged by how much work they put into something versus the characteristics, whether they disabled, whether they're gay, whether they're black, whether they're female, whether they're white. Do they do a good job? Let's start judging people by their good works is what he's trying to say. But to me, it's so subjective because if that was the case, they would have never had to put these plans in place in the first place. If they were so about treating people on how they perform, this wouldn't even be a topic of discussion. It was already, they was at a disadvantage. It was unfair from the beginning. It was unfair from the beginning. And now all of a sudden he wants to take it away because he feels like, okay, like, you know how some people say, oh, there's a quota that needs to be met. They have to have so many percentage of blacks in management or in high-ranking positions and stuff like that. That was a thing in the diversity program. He wants that taken away because, in my opinion, I believe that he wants people that look like himself to be in charge. He wants a rich America and a poor American. And in my opinion, I believe that he wants people that may have a disadvantage because of this color skin. He wants them to be really at a disadvantage. I'm not hurting in no areas in life. It's people that are so less fortunate without mentioning it than I am. She said, I feel disgusted and it's very sad to witness. You may not be hurting now, but the thing about it is, we all got to get old. We know that for sure. And sometimes with age comes disabilities. And the part of the inclusion program is learning how to treat people with disabilities. That's actually a part of the inclusion program. So it doesn't just affect Black and white people. And I think that's what we think. We automatically zoom on Black and white, but it's not. It's a lot of different protective classes that this is going to affect. Essentially, us women will get the most impact of this situation. She said, why isn't Columbus Day on that list? Because it's not an inclusion day. It's not bringing awareness to a protected class. You know what I'm saying? He can't run again. He is damn near 80. He ain't got shit to lose. He will implement Project 25. They trying to pass the bill to have him on Mount Rushmore. Oh my God. Are you freaking kidding me? He wants his face on the damn mountains. Oh my God. My daughter lives in El Paso and works with the Mexican population. She says they really believe they are white. They say there's only 2 races. They check the white box on all paperwork. See what I'm talking about, Steffi? It's a lot of people like that. I actually had a major that I worked with that actually thought like that. There's only 2 races, Black and white. That man wants only white power. It's sickening. And then he had the nerve to blame the DEI on the plane crash that happened in Washington, D.C. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, that's what we have to look forward to right now. I just kind of wanted to come back and speak on that just briefly because I was like, you know what? Sometimes you don't want to step on people's toes and whatnot. But then you say, you know what? Things are we're talking about all this stuff and we're really not talking about some serious issues that need to be addressed, right? All people are standing against it. Oh man, it looks like they're trying to make me order this. Hold on, I don't want to order this. Oh man. Let's go back to the story. So some people, oh man. Let me see if I can show you this without having to pay for it right quick. I'm gonna take a screenshot. Hold on. Give me a second. Ah, shit, it got me. Anyway, it's some people taking a stance against it. So there's a basketball team. Oh, I can't even see it. But anyway, it looks like a team in Maryland. They're supporting it. So they're actually, protesting right now by wearing their sweatshirt jerseys that says Black History Month. So people are pushing back. People are definitely pushing back like, no, we're going to celebrate it regardless, and you're not going to stop us. So, and the thing about it, you know what, that we may not even think about, that the very people that may be pushing this, may look like you and I. Okay? Let me see if this will play right quick. I'm going to see if this is going to play. Identity Month is dead. Oh my God. Hold on, I'm trying to get past this commercial. Let me see if it's going to let me play it. Oh, yeah, they are. Are they?
Aid or school, it did run out.
Hold on,
Once
let
I
the
found
commercial
start,
go.
I was kind of relieved that they're interested in my back.
Let me just wait till it come up. Mercy, 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 mercy. All right, let's see. Let's check it out.
Did you see that? 430,
Oh, I thought this was about to be about, oh no, they're talking about the plane crash. Oh, I don't like the way they do their news. Oh, it must have went, okay, anyway. I thought that was about to be them talking about what's going on, but they're talking about the plane crash that crashed in Philadelphia last night. It was absolutely insane. I'm talking about insane. Like, how you get planes fall out out the damn sky? Absolutely insane. I feel bad for them as well. Absolutely insane. Another plane fell out the sky. I want to hear y'all to hear his words on what he is saying. Let's see if this is it.
Washington, where as part of President Trump's pushback on diversity and inclusion initiatives, NBC News has learned that the Defense Intelligence Agency has ordered a pause on all events related to MLK Day or Black History Month, which we should note begins tomorrow. Joining us now with more, NBC News senior White House correspondent Kelly O'Donnell, Atlantic staff writer Ashley Parker, and Aaron Haynes, editor-in-chief at the 19th. So Kelly, this follows a string of anti-DEI initiatives and messaging from the White House. What's this one about?
Well, certainly what we're seeing is that in this particular agency, the Defense Intelligence Agency, there is a memo that has been distributed to staff members making clear that the agency will not support any celebration, commemoration, events associated with Black History Month, Martin Luther King Day, and so forth. Now, Martin Luther King Day is enshrined in federal law as a federal holiday, so it's unclear what that means in terms of how that would be observed. Federal workers do not have to come to work on a federal holiday, to state the obvious. So one of the questions we hope to learn more about is how widespread is this approach? President Trump has been very clear in his public statements and in his use of various instruments with a pen, meaning a memo or an executive order or the various things that we've been seeing him sign since he came into office, very clearly saying that he wants to root out DEI programming and hiring related practices and so forth. And as he has described it, he wants the best people, regardless of what they look like or how they speak or how they live. And so is this a broad policy that will affect all parts of the federal government, or was this the interpretation of a given agency to be in alignment with the White House? Part of what this new Trump administration has been trying to do is to get the federal workforce to be in step with President Trump's priorities and his view of how the federal government should operate in a broad array of areas.
All right, so we're gonna stop here, and somebody just sent me something that the people that voted for Trump, the Hispanics, this is what's going on with them now.
I am being 100% honest. I am getting a huge kick out of their pain.
Now, let me say something right quick about Funky Dineva. I don't agree with a lot of bullshit that comes out of this man's mouth. He is a part of the community, if you know what I mean, the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, P, Q, R, S, T, R, P. TTT 99785 and 3. So, but not saying that I don't agree with him because he's a part of the community, but he is also disrespectful to women, and that's why I'm not in agreement with a lot of things that he says. But obviously, this video was sent to me because he's saying some things that I need to hear. So let's listen to it right quick.
Latinos, not all. All of them did not vote for Trump, but the ones that did. If I'm being perfectly honest, and I know that it makes me a bad person for saying this, I know. And here's the thing, I'm already going to hell. So I might as well have a good time in the process. Since
Who's saying that shit? Anyway, let's go.
Already going to hell,
Let's pass
as
it.
to what's going on. I am getting so much joy out of it. It is just how much pleasure it brings me. Comfort, laughter.
Let's just get to the point.
Funky Dineva, we are part of your Latin fan base, and we love you. And it's not all of us. I know it's not all of y'all, and I love y'all back. Okay, but the ones that did vote, I am having so much fun with this. I am having fun, and I don't want to hear nothing about it's them today and it might be tomorrow. Well, if it's me tomorrow, I'll cry tomorrow. But today, I'm having a real good time laughing at Latino pain. I'm having a real good time. I'm talking about.
So basically, this video, it looks like it's about Latinos who voted for Trump are crying over being deported. Okay.
Real good. I'm laughing real good. I'm having a real good time laughing at this Latino pain because this thing tickle me. Girl. This the first one they had. Girl, look at this person right here. I want to introduce y'all to Selena Gonzalez Consuelo. This is Selena Gonzalez Consuelo. And listen to what Selena Gonzalez Consuelo had to say.
We voted for Trump. We trust him with the words that he promised us Latinos.
Now let me stop. We trusted him with the words that he promised as Latinos. Girl, I had to stop the video right there because I'm not understanding what words you trusted. He told y'all from day one he was sending y'all ass back across the border. He
absolutely did.
Not bamboozled.
He absolutely did. He did tell them, yeah, he's been saying it. And I don't understand why they didn't think it was true, but apparently there is a lot of Latinos that has been getting deported by the numbers. Matter of fact, I heard the other day that there was a goal of over 1,000 people per day that they are locking up and sending them back to their countries. And some of them are going back to their countries that they haven't been to in years. And some have never been to that country, okay?
What were y'all tricked? Let me let this finish before I go in.
It is crazy that starting next week, that is so crazy that multiple people are scared to go to work. I work at a lot of Latinos and I go to work. That's crazy how we have a living too.
She says she hates that she voted for him, and a lot of Latinos are scared to go to work because they feel like they're gonna get caught and get deported.
Now I'm so scared. I mean, they don't stop me. Y'all, we need to come together and do something.
We're not coming together with you.
Yeah, so now she is saying that she want everybody to come together and do something about it.
It's Consuelo. Selena Gonzalez Consuelo. Ain't nobody coming together with you. And I'm going to tell y'all how much I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying this so much that this entire show, I'm not even going to get paid for because that snippet of music is actually going to kill my video from being able to be monetized.
Mine too, but I'm gonna cut it out.
Because that's somebody else's copyrighted material. And you know what? I don't even care. I'll forego the money that I would have made on tonight's show to sit and indulge in all of this pain and laugh. This is absolutely hilarious. We gotta come together. Come together. Selena Gonzalez Consuelo. In your proposal for all of us to come together, Miss Consuelo, just which group or group of people are you suggesting come together? Like which group? Because I know you're not talking about the Blights. The Blights came together and did what they were supposed to do. That's what somebody said. Edit it out and upload it again. That's probably what I do since it's at the top of the show.
Hey, Vanessa, what's going on, honey? What you got?
Hey, I didn't know you were back, but we having an open discussion. So this is an open discussion, right? Let me just say this. I don't understand why people are that upset about Trump. I didn't vote for Trump. Let me just say that. That they are taking the diversity departments out of places because even though the diversity department taught their employees how to be inclusive, which was important for a long period of time. But now the average Joe knows how to handle, you know, everybody being exclusive. Now that program, yes, is going to take away celebrations of it's going to make companies not have to celebrate stuff like Black History Month, Martin Luther King's Day, Native American Day, Mexican Heritage Day, Jewish whatever days. The companies don't have to celebrate them. That doesn't stop them from being recognized, and it doesn't stop people from complaining against discrimination. If I go into my job, they're just closing a department that they feel is outdated. If I go into my job and someone discriminates me because I'm Black, I still go to human resources, and it's still under a federal law that you can't get discriminated against. Martin Luther King's Day is a federal holiday. It's nothing going to change about that. If my job doesn't want to put up banners and have a speech and stuff about Martin Luther King's Day, then that's the job. If my job doesn't want to celebrate Black History Month anymore, if that happens to be the job I'm at, if they don't want to have a program for it, I'll go into my community and have a program. And just to jump on the immigration thing, people like Trump told us right ahead of time that he was going to deport people, but he's never going to get to the amount he said he's going to deport. And at this point, President Obama and Biden has deported more people than Trump has. So what I'm saying, I'm not saying that what's going on is right. I'm just saying that a lot of it is fear mongering to cause outrage. And maybe it's me that I just don't understand. So if it can be explained, I'll listen.
Well, I understand what you're saying about the fear mongering and stuff like that, because that does happen. But at the same time, it's not just fear mongering when it is actually affecting certain people's livelihood, okay? Certain people's family. Now, the diversity programs, I actually think that they should have kept those. And the reason being, especially now, I can't say what all they did in the civilian sector because I've never worked in this. Well, I have worked in the civilian sector, but not as a full-time person. So only part-time, and probably never had any dealings with their programs. But in the military, this was big because you got people from all walks of life coming and joining an organization. And I just think it's very important that we all, because you got to think about it, America allows people from other countries to join their military. Did you know that? And if you have that person in there, you don't know their culture, you don't know they eat rotten cabbage that was buried in the dirt or whatever the case may be, kimchi, no, I'm just kidding. But anyway, with different cultures, you learn how they do things, how they handle things, the things that they celebrate. If you take that out, right? If you take those programs out, if you dead them, how are the new generations that's coming up going to know this? Because it's not like they're being taught at home, because if that was the case, we wouldn't be where we are now.
Okay, the military, does it have a human resource department?
It does indeed. And a part
Okay,
of
so
that department was the diversity and equal opportunity program.
right. So if they're taking out that program, why can't they appoint somebody in human resources to include this in training instead of having like, okay, say if the
It was
budget,
included in training. He just said that there would be no more trainings. It would
he
be no
said he
more.
was closing the department, that he
Right,
wasn't going
the
to allow
department
the
was a part of
budgets.
so the department was a part of the human resource department. Do you understand what I'm
Okay,
saying? Okay. Equal opportunity fell under HR.
okay,
It was just an extension. It was an extension of HR. It was an umbrella effect. It's a part of human resources.
okay. And is that in the military or everywhere?
Everywhere. It's just the military that I know of, only because I've never really worked in management or anything in another company. I worked part-time at the PX. I worked part-time at Sears. So I don't know what type of program they had because I wasn't really that invested or that involved.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. Okay, it's just my understanding was a little different, so I just have to do a little more research on that. But thanks, Amora.
Yeah, no, I want to play one more video for you. I don't mind if you're up here and you stay to listen if you don't mind.
Okay.
Okay. All right, hold on. It's only 20 minutes. Do you have time?
Yep.
Yep. All right, hold on one second. Let me see how to send it. Put it up here. Hold on, let me take this one down. Funky Dad Neva is just literally laughing at the people that are now crying. But let me play this one right quick. Here it goes.
A new podcast. Karen Hunter is awesome.
If you like me on SiriusXM Urban View Channel 126, you're gonna love me. And Karen Hunter is awesome. Hey, this is Karen Hunter, host of the Karen Hunter Show on SiriusXM Urban View.
The fact that I currently hold an honorary doctorate. I also hold a Juris Doctorate. I also hold a bachelor's. I also technically hold a Karen Hunter Show. We are here. We're about to delve deep into DEI. Of course, my partner in power today is Amber Cabral, former executive at Walmart, author of Say More About That. And joining us is the anti-HR lady, Miss Anne Marie Archer. Welcome to the Karen Hunter Show for the first time. Hello. Thank you for having me. Good to be here. Good to see you. I was talking during the break, and I'm vacillating between, do we lean into DEI and DEI them into oblivion, or do we change the language? Are we running? And Amber was like, change the language?
Listen, I am of the opinion that language evolves. And I think that if you continue to use words with people who can't hear you, your message will not be heard. So that said, I do think it's important. I think two things can be true. So I think it's important that we do understand what it means, that we uphold and honor that we correct when we hear it being used incorrectly. But I also think that we need to have other ways to communicate our message so that people are able to digest the points that we are making. Because let's be clear, DEI are representatives of grander strategies, objectives that we're trying to hit. I need to have a better way to say that to you in the event that you have, gotten poisoned on those words. So I think of it as, if I'm going to have a complicated conversation with my 8-year-old, I'm going to use different language than if I have to have that same complicated conversation with my spouse. We got to change our language sometime.
Anne Marie, as it relates to the workplace in this current climate, how have you how have you pivoted?
I think, first to clarify, I am not in the business of helping people stay in places and positions that do not serve them as Black people, especially as Black women. So what I do in my work is help us get the hell out of these places. Coin if we can on our way out the door. I do not spend a lot of time, encouraging people to try to navigate these things, because for me, it's not about the language, because no matter what we choose to call it, whether we choose to start calling it belonging, It's what it means that they don't want. That's what it's about. It's what it means, the objective of these things. So if you start calling it belonging, belonging will become a bad word, right? So you have to figure out a strategy to get where you want to go in spite of whatever they want to call it. Because if they want to make it about merit, I think we need to start talking about these things in the context of merit. Because if we're talking about merit, who is more meritorious than us? Who has to be faster, smarter, quicker than us to even get our foot in the door? So I think we need to, I want to have a conversation about merit. I am already pivoting with my clients about how do you raise these issues in the context of merit? Because who is more meritorious than us? You know, if you want to talk about merit, to me, it makes the conversation easier, not harder, because everybody is dealing with the mediocre Kyle and the Karens and the Kevins.
Well, we don't call Karen, Karen on there. Hold on, Anne Marie. But point of her, she is Jenny or Amy on the Karen Hunter show.
Okay.
Karen is a great name.
Jenny.
She said, "No, come over here with that Karen shit."
Jackie with the good hair, whatever we want to call them. They don't have to merit anything, and they're used to a system in which things have been given to them, including in the context of DEI, right? So I welcome a conversation about merit, and I think we need to be happy to engage about a conversation about merit and make them define what merit means to them, right? Rather than spending time getting into the dirt with them about DEI and belonging in these things, because whatever we call it is going to become a bad word because they don't want us at the table. That is what the issue is. That is what it has always been about.
So I do want to.
So let me ask you this right quick, Vanessa. What do you think about that? They don't want us at the table.
I agree.
I agree.
Okay. All right, let's go. Let's continue.
Offer a point of clarity. I agree 100% with you. I don't think that we go from DEI to belonging to, equity to, I don't think that that's the way that we play this. I think to your point, we have to get to the heart of the matter. So the heart of the matter is I need you to be respectful. This behavior is disrespectful. So let's have a conversation about what respect needs to look like in this workplace. I want to have a conversation about accountability. So let's talk about what accountability needs to look like in the workplace. To your point about merit, hey, I noticed that we're using this term merit. Can I get some working definitions so I can actually understand what you mean when you say merit? I think we have to get better at being able to talk about what we actually mean and the behaviors associated with that, and then hold people accountable. Hey, you said the standard was this. I'm doing that. Where's the disconnect? So absolutely, totally agree. 100% aligned.
To Anne Marie's point, though, because I know both of you know this, that, there'll be, in the past, people will hire people because they felt forced to. So there's their quotas. In this current climate, they don't have to. So even getting in the door is going to be, for a job, right, that you want to be in. There's no incentive anymore other than that it's good for business. And that's been shown that a diverse office place or a diverse company does better financially. It's good business. But they don't care because this is such an insane space where, you think about the bus boycott of Montgomery lasted a year and that company went bankrupt. Like the real company, the parent company had to step in. They were willing to go bankrupt to not capitulate to Black people. We're back there, and I feel like the difference is the parent company now would go bankrupt. Or the parent, it's so I'm tasked with how do we build industry so that we're not at the table begging for anybody's job, that we have our own institutions to go to.
So I think that conversation is the one that is the most imperative. Like the majority of us are reliant upon our jobs. So like the reason I wrote say more about that is because a lot of us are in organizations where like, I know I need to get out of here, but while I'm here, I got to be able to navigate this. And so I think we have to be able to expand our perspective enough to hold both. I am in an environment that I'm not okay in. I'm in a space that I don't like and I want to get somewhere else. And then also the other side that's like, okay, let me get real about a strategy. Like what's an actual thing that I should be leaning on or trying or attempting to do? And then having discussions and being in community with those who are also like-minded enough to say, hey, this is a good idea. And we've seen that work too. We've seen community feed neighborhoods. We've seen, so it's not as though it can't happen. We also know that, very often it is intentionally destroyed. So we have to think about the strategies around protecting those spaces as well. But I do think it's critically important for you to be able to understand that, like, if you're in the system, you got to figure out how to navigate the system until you at least know how to get out of it. And that also includes, I need to know how to hold you accountable for treating me the way that I should be treated while I'm here. It does not mean what many of us have done, which is just say, if I could just make it, if I could just put my head down and take it, and it's like, yeah, no, let's not, because we're now inviting the abuse. And I think that is one of the other things that needs to change, is to stop inviting the abuse.
Well, can I just hop in and say, I spend my days talking to employees, primarily Black women, about the work environments, the hostile work environments that they're working in. And I urge us to abandon this idea that we have to take it, and that the only option that we have is to bide our time and take it, because it is literally killing us. Our health, it is damaging our mental health and our physical health to stay in these environments. So I really spend a lot of time trying to teach people that look like me primarily. I'm always saying, I'm happy if other people learn something, but I do what I do for Black people and for Black women. But I need us to understand what discrimination is and is not, and be prepared to identify it, call it out, document it, and then use what we have documented to expedite an exit out of these environments. And yes, we have the ability to build our own infrastructures, and we're going to have to do it. We are going to have to do it because, as you said, we are back to where we thought we got away from in many ways, because we never did. We assumed that we did. But these people have been planning these things since the Civil Rights Act was built in 1964. And we, for whatever reason, chose to believe, because we saw.
All right, so let me just stop for a moment. So basically they're saying that they feel like we didn't advance with the programs put in place, right? They made us feel like we were at an advantage. Things were changing, things got better, but basically they're saying that we are still
It
at
made us
base.
complacent.
Right, it made us complacent. We're still at base one, so it didn't really put us ahead. Do you agree or disagree with that?
I agree with it on some basis, but not on all. I think it was necessary back when the Civil Rights Act was first passed, that in order to be hired in jobs that we could support our families, that they had to force companies to hire more diversely, even though white women were the ones who had more of an advantage with that than we did. But as of now, as we got into those positions, instead of saying, okay, let's put something in place so that we can come to the table and be recognized for who we are without them having to force themselves to recognize us. I don't want to work someplace where I'm forced to, I was hired because of affirmative action. I was hired because of a diversity department. We should have, during these years when that was the case, we should have found something to put into that place where we had more Black-owned companies, where we had more Black-owned business, and we wasn't satisfied with just working under white people's companies or different races companies, and putting something in place so that we can fight discrimination and not just fight discrimination under the laws that they wanted us to fight discrimination. We should have been in places to try to make new laws. So in that case, yeah, I think we have become complacent.
Okay, so I see what you're saying. You more or less saying you don't like the programs because it makes you feel like they're giving you something versus you earning it from your own merits, your own hard work.
Yes, but I understand that it was necessary to do that. But at this point, of time, even though, you know, a lot of people say we haven't progress and things like that. At this point of time, I want to go, if I'm going to school, medical school for 4 years, and well, what is medical school? 16 years. Well, you know what I'm saying. If I'm going to medical school and a white woman saying go into medical school, we both have the same criteria, and they hire, or I have less, say if I have less of a criteria, but since you know, affirmative action is in place, they're going to hire me. And then I'm going to get job, you know, hostility in that job because they didn't want me there in the first place. And it's going to be some reason to force me to, like she's saying, be stressed, be, you know, and want to leave that job. And what she is saying, which is a good point, that we should have had something in place that when that happens, that we have something in place that we can leave these jobs and not sit there and take the discrimination.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. What do y'all say, audience? What do y'all think about that? Another way of looking at the reason the programs are going away, so that not based on your skin color, your gender, your I don't think they even do religion belief right now, but your disabilities. I don't know about disabilities. But what do you think about having to compete for these positions based on your true education, your knowledge, your expertise, versus having a booster because most companies won't even look at you because of the color of your skin, but they have to because of the programs in place. So if they snatch the programs out of place, now we can revert back to, I don't want you being my CEO because I don't like the color of your skin. What do you think about that? Do you want to compete fairly? Do you think that we in America are where we can actually throw those programs away?
Let me say this. I don't think we in America are in a place where we could throw those programs away. Let me just make that point. I don't think we are. I would like to be in a place where we can compete on our own merit, but America, no, is not there to throw those programs away.
So if we're saying that we're not there, because I thought you were saying that you actually agreed with getting rid of the programs.
No, I didn't say I agree with getting rid of the program. When I came on, my question was the DEI program, those programs, and you explained it to me, and that's why I said I have to look it up a little more, because I didn't think that the DEI programs was connected to affirmative action. So just because they get rid of the department that teaches you what everyone's culture is and how you should respect everyone and how you shouldn't, you know, feed somebody pork when they don't eat, you know, you shouldn't have certain things at the table. I didn't think that department is connected to the federal law of affirmative action. I didn't think they were connected. So even though they don't have that training anymore, they still have to have a certain amount of minority people working at a company. So I didn't know they were connected. So what I'm understanding from you, Amori, are you still there? It looks like Amora got dropped down. So what I was understanding is that you there, Amora?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so I what I was understanding is that they were two different departments. Like affirmative action is a federal law. It doesn't have anything to do with jobs teaching people how they should treat different cultures. That was my understanding. So if I'm wrong, correct me.
Well, as far as are you there too, Latanya? I try to
Hi,
check.
Latanya.
Yes. Hey, how you doing, Vanessa? Hey, Amora. Hey, Chat. Hey, everybody. How's everything going?
Everything's
good.
So I guess the reason why well, as far as the HR, so the diversity program was just a program that fell up under HR. It's just like any other program. sexual harassment program. Well, actually,
Right.
sexual harassment also fell up under. So sexual harassment actually fell up under our equal opportunity program, and our diversity program fell up under equal opportunity, which falls up under HR. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's HR, then equal opportunity, and under equal opportunity was the diversity program.
And does that have anything to do with affirmative action?
Well, I do believe that they had, I don't know if the military went by quota, but I'm going to say I do believe when Obama came into office, when President Obama came into office, I do believe that he put in place a percentage of Black officers and generals that needed to be promoted to those ranks because,
Right. But that
and-
had nothing to do with the DEI program. Latanya, because I know, Latanya, you were talking about it, and you might know more than I know because you're not
Yeah.
like Morris talking from like more of a military. Latanya, you actually work for the federal government, right?
Yes, I work for the
Yeah.
federal government and I work for the hospital as well.
Right.
But
So maybe
I
you can
came
give me a
in,
better understanding.
yeah, I came in at the tail end of it, and I just immediately wanted to jump in because Amora, I knew that eventually you was going to get on this topic. I was just sitting back, waiting, being patient, but I knew that eventually you was going to get on this topic. I just have a few things I want to say because this is something I'm very, very passionate about. Because my grandmother will be turning 95 next week, and she was
All
very
right.
much a part of the civil rights movement. And I grew up, we are very passionate about civil rights. And it
Mm-hmm.
just breaks my heart to know that after all the work that she personally done to
Yeah.
see Trump undo things that were put in place, he took us back 100 years. If nobody is into politics, now is the time to understand what is going on because we're really not going to feel the full effect of what is
Mm-hmm.
going on and probably to a year from now. He stopped all Black business funding. It's a lot of stuff that he's done that if you're not really in tune, you're not going to know what happens until bam.
That's true.
But as
Because I
far as
didn't
the
know
job,
that.
yes, he has literally taken us back 100 years. When Biden and Harris was in office, they donated more money to HBCUs than any other president. They
Mm-hmm.
donated millions of dollars. But the bottom line is this: when it comes to jobs, and I want everybody to have a understanding about this. A lot of times, Black people are discriminated before they even get the interview. They look at your
Right.
name. They
Your
look at your
names.
name and they know, so you might not even get the call. And as far as laws do need to be put in place to level things out, because to be perfectly honest with you, Black people have to work harder. They have
Mm-hmm.
to be smarter. They have to
Mm-hmm.
have everything that white people have, Black people have to be that times 10. And most of the time when they're applying for those jobs, they are that and more.
Right.
So to be perfectly honest with you, I personally feel like if it was really fair, going by experience, Black people would dominate the industry in
Mm-hmm.
everything. And I mean in absolutely everything. Because these
Mm-hmm.
kids that are coming out now are bright. These kids are smart. These young Black men and women, they are on top of it. They're smart, they're educated. And I feel as though a lot of things has happened as far as the civil rights movement. What happened was, like I can say personally, my grandmother and her generation, they paved the way for us.
Of course. Yeah.
They paved the way for us. And what happened was, the top 2, 3, 4, 5%, those are the billionaires that run everything. They own us pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the people that Donald Trump got connected with.
Right.
And not only that, they're the racists. They are the
Right.
ones that are racist. So, and I feel in my heart of hearts, I don't know if y'all remember this time, because like I said, I've always been in tune with politics. But when Colin Kaepernick took a knee and they threw him out of the NFL, I knew
Yeah.
then that was a form of white supremacy.
Yeah,
That
definitely.
was a form of white supremacy. And that was our moment to
And we
take
grew it.
action.
Yeah, we
That
blew
was the
that one.
moment right there, because if all the black football players in the NFL would have said, no, y'all going to sign the George Floyd, law, y'all going, or
Yep.
we're not playing no more. Or y'all going to do something about these police, or we're not playing no more. They
Yeah.
would have jumped on it. The law would have been signed the next day,
Yeah.
because they are making millions off of these black men. They are making billions. These athletes, it wouldn't even be an NFL or NBA if it wasn't for black men.
You're right.
And they are making billions. But as far as the job market goes, yes, they put it in place so that they want us to be at the bottom. It don't matter how educated we are. They want us to be at the bottom. This is what they're putting in place.
They want us to be the workers. They want the workers, and they want the managers, and they want us to be the workers like it used to be. You remember we were the workers?
Yes.
Right.
That's why I said they took us back 100 years.
Well,
Because
that's what
now
I'm asking. What I don't understand, Latanya and Amora, and that's my main question. Because let me just tell you a little bit. My family were Black Panthers when Black Panther organization just started. I marched with Al Sharpton during, I went to jail marching. So, it's not about what I don't understand. And this is what I'm trying to understand from someone, because I'm not that big into politics until, unfortunately, now that I have to be. But I don't understand the DEI. How is that going to affect affirmative action hires? Is it the same department?
It's basically, it's the same message behind it, but it's different.
So it's the message, but it's not.
It's
you
not
just
the
think
law,
it's going to be a domino effect.
Yeah, Trump undid that too. That's why I'm saying Trump undid that. He has taken us back.
Action?
Yes, he has taken us back 100 years.
So Trump signed. It was okay, because I don't know this. Trump signed an executive order, and it was passed that there's no more affirmative action.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. DEI. I mean, I'm saying DEI. Yeah, DEI. I keep saying DUI, but I'm saying it right now. But DEI came along after George Floyd. This is when everybody, all of the white companies, everybody was feeling bad because everybody saw him being murdered. And they were saying that in their workplaces, they're going to have diversity, equity, and inclusion. They didn't do anything about change. They didn't change the laws as far as they wouldn't sign that George Floyd Act. So the companies took it upon themselves to kind of make black people feel like that's a safe, their jobs are safe with them. Pretty much like a welcoming type of thing.
Wasn't it DEI in the military before George Floyd?
I think DUI started after George Floyd. It started DEI started after George Floyd.
Okay, I have to look that up. I'm not saying I don't believe you. I'm just not 100% sure. Okay.
Yeah, that's when that started. That was that big movement after that. But But yeah, Trump has undone so many different things. Just so basically, they've taken us back.
Latanya, let me just correct you on one thing.
Go ahead.
Not over. He's not the one that got rid of affirmative action. It was his people that he selected to be a part of the Supreme Court system.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But still, the same difference. This is all coming from the top. This is all This is all coming from the top.
In his administration, it was actually done in 2023 when he was not the president. But go ahead.
It was done before Trump was president, right?
It was done after he became the first, when he was the president before, and then now in 2023. But that's before this presidency. You know what I'm saying? So it was done after he elected all those Supreme Court judges.
Right.
He elected them. That's when it went through, because he appointed all these judges.
Right. So he tried to do it before it was denied, and now when he got everybody in place, it just went through. That's what y'all saying, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was made by conservative majority Supreme Court members. Okay?
Right. Just like with the abortion thing, that came through after him, but it was all in his. It was all started from him. Yeah.
Yeah, all set up. Yes.
Yeah, but
Okay.
y'all, I just get so emotional because it's just so much, and it's just like I know that a lot of Black people, we going along with our everyday lives, and there's a lot of people that are not in tune with what's going on, but we will feel the effects of this, and it's scary to me. It's scary to me, is what it is.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot going on at the top. See, people fail to realize this country was built off the laws.
Right.
This country was built off the law. So Trump managed to tweak. What he did was he got in good with the lawmakers. He got in good with the people that had the money. So he kind of wiggled his way through the system. So now it's like, if everything is so locked in, everybody's so locked into him to where it's almost the people that could really hurt us, they don't care.
So do you think he's more a puppet for the people that he's passing the laws and things for the people that put him in office?
Oh, he's definitely a puppet, but he still has the same mindset.
Right. Right.
Yeah, he's the puppet. He's definitely the puppet because he don't have the billions and billions like the Elon Musk and all of them.
Mm-hmm.
But they paid him. So basically he's the puppet he's carrying out everything that they want. But at the end of the day, it was still in him because, he comes from that. His dad was a Klansman. They discriminated against Black people when they owned properties in New York. They didn't rent to him.
Right.
So
That's
this
true.
is who he is. This
That's
is who
true.
he is. But at the end of the day, now it's on a higher level. Now the people with the money that's backing him, so he can do pretty much whatever. And it's scary to have, a commander in chief. Like, earlier today I was reading that they were saying that Elon Musk then fired the Treasury Department guy, and he has taken over with the Social Security and the Medicare, got into the system. So what's going to happen
Wow.
next?
Wow.
That's why I
Yeah.
said people need to be in tune because we can wake up one day and we don't have access to our money.
Yeah. Because it's already affected the profit sharing and pension amounts. Like my 401k, I got my statement, it went down like $10,000 because of everything that's going on. But I'm going to say this, I'm interested in politics very surface like. So listening to you and Amora when she puts things on with other people, I realize I now again, unfortunately, because I just want to have fun. I have to I have
Right.
to be more interested in it. So this coming up, I appreciate you ladies because I had questions. I had a lot of things I didn't understand, and I appreciate you giving me more understanding on those things so that I can do further research to my satisfaction. So I appreciate that.
Right. Just stay in tune because, this is going to affect all of us. And it's getting scary because we're going to have to really, we might have to depend on each other. We don't know what's going to happen the next few years. Just imagine it's only been a couple of 10 days, 11 days since he's taken
Yeah.
office. And he took us back 100 years.
And that's why I go back to my point. Oh, I'm sorry, LaTanya, go ahead.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
That's why I go back to my point to what I was saying before, Maura. When I say that we became complacent, when the white man, and when I say the white man, it's because technically it was the government was white people. It's not because I'm, racist. I might be a little prejudiced, but I'm not racist. And for a Black person to be prejudiced, it's easy for us to prejudge that a certain white people are going to do certain actions because that's what they have done to history. So for a Black person to be prejudiced is normal, but I'm not a racist. But saying that, when I say we became complacent, when we earned all these things during the civil rights movement and our ancestors fought for these things, after a couple of 10, 20 years, 30 years, we should have started having things in place so that when this day comes around, we would have had more things in place that we would not be so susceptible to what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I know you said you don't follow politics, but let me tell you something. John Lewis had never stopped. he knew that it wasn't done yet. We wasn't there
Right.
yet. Everybody kept saying just because we elected a black president, Obama got in office and he saw immediately
Yeah,
what
Obama
what
saw
the
he
deal
had no
was.
power. He couldn't do anything.
They
So,
did not, but then Trump got in and had all the power. You
yeah,
see what I'm
yeah,
saying? Yeah, so Obama knew immediately that, wait a minute, I'm working amongst, some races, he couldn't pass. He passed a lot of things, even though, he did pass a lot of things, but at the same
yeah,
time, he had it hard. He
yeah,
had it hard
yeah.
and it was basically trying to do right by the country. He
Right.
was trying to do right by the country. We got somebody in office now that don't care about nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody. He don't. He don't care, and that's scary because he truly don't care. So I don't know, y'all, but I'm gonna drop down too. But Amore, yeah, keep talking about this. I knew that your day was coming. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna sit back and wait on it. I was waiting on it.
I am, and I know a lot of people probably don't want to hear about it, but I just think it's important that we do touch on it. You know what I mean? Especially when it is going to directly affect us. But let me just carry off of something that you said. Sorry, because I'm back there eating gummies while I was listening. You said you don't care about nobody. You care about only himself and those that's going to be directly affected with him, meaning his kids, his probably Melania, whatever the case may be. He does not care about anybody else. So that's why I had to correct somebody earlier when they was like, "Oh, he only care about the white man." He don't care about them either. It is not
No, he don't. He's a narcissist. He's a narcissist.
He cares
Narcissists don't
about
care
the
about
rich
nobody.
people. He cares about the rich people because that's where he's at. He doesn't care. The white people thought that they were going to care. He was a president for them, but he don't care about them, especially the poor white people.
And then some black people thought he was going to do right by us too. But you have to
Yeah,
look at a person's character. You have to
yeah.
really look at a person's character. I don't know why, a lot of black people voted for him, but if you look at a person's character, why would you want him running the country? If you see his character, the type of person that he is. So yeah, a lot of black people thought he was going to do right, was going to bring all this money. But the man, how many times did he file for bankruptcy? What do you think he's going to do with our money if he filed for bankruptcy like 7 times?
Yeah, I wish we had someone that voted for Trump that was in the chat that's not ashamed to say it because a lot of them are undercover and that they can let us know how they feel he's doing so far. Like if they still happy they voted for him. I would like to know, maybe one day somebody would come up.
Yeah, well, a lot of them are disappointed because they really thought, again, narcissists are good at persuading people. This is what they do. They're con artists. They're good at putting on a different image. So some people got caught up in the image that he's this tough guy that's going to bring us all this money. It is so much going on, y'all. And as far as, I'm in healthcare. So let me just touch on this. Is he's done so much. Now he's pulled us out of the World Health Organization. Those are the people that let us know when diseases, like when COVID was coming,
Oh, wow.
they are the ones who sound the alarm.
Yep.
They are the ones that let us know that things are coming. And then not only that, tuberculosis is on the rise. And then they
Yes,
say there's a
yes.
threat of another virus coming over here. Do you think Trump is going to let us know about any of this?
Oh,
No.
wow.
No, he's not going to let us know. And that's the worst thing. The World Health Organization has saved us. It's a lot of deadly diseases. And we're not even a part of them. So they're not going to even alert us on what's going on around the world with
So why do you think he
pandemics.
pulled us out of that? Because of financial reasons?
Financial. He's
Okay.
trying to get. Trump owes people money. You can't tell me that these people. A lot of people. Elon Musk alone spent $250 million on Trump's campaign. They didn't do that for free. They want
Yeah.
something. They want their money back. So he's going to
Gotcha.
rob us to pay them.
Yeah, and Elon Musk was never for the World Health Organization anyway.
Right.
So yeah.
Right. So it's just a lot going on. But I just recommend that, suggest that everybody just kind of stay tuned, Roland Martin is a good person that kind of breaks it down as far as from the Black perspective, what Black people need to be looking out for. But, and that's why I knew Amora was going to eventually jump on it, because every podcaster would at this particular time. If you got a podcast and you're not speaking on, what's going on right now, because it is going to affect us. So eventually everybody's going to be talking about it. But it's a lot going on. But as far as Roland Martin, he's more in, I like the way he breaks it down. So if you don't understand the way he breaks it down, you'll understand what's going on,
Got
But,
you. Well, thank you, ladies. I'm going to drop down.
Mhm.
Okay. And as far as Trump pulling us out of the World Health Organization, he claims it's because they mismanaged how COVID was revealed to us and stuff like that. So he feel like they mismanaged it, so he doesn't have any trust in the system.
Oh, so that's his excuse, but he didn't put anything in place to take over for it.
But then the sad part is he says that it's really about money. He says that, but then look who he put over our health. Look, the Kennedy guy. He's an ex-heroin addict and an ex-alcoholic. And look who he put over us to manage our health. This is crazy, y'all. I'm telling you, this is sick. There's some sick stuff going on. Those people that are in charge, they're all about money. They're all about money. They don't care nothing about our health, our safety. Even with that, when he tried to freeze, the government funding, that would affect police officers and firemen too. That would affect everything about our safety.
How would it have affected the police officer and firemen?
Because police officers and fire departments are backed by federal funds as well. Yeah, they're like city and local government is backed by the federal government. So it's just a lot.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, like city government and the local government, they're backed by the federal government. So it's just a lot.
Now let me ask you this: do you think that he was just doing that? He just threw that up as a gesture. Yeah, the doctors would have been affected as well. But do you think he did it as a beat your chest type of moment?
To be perfectly honest, when it comes to dealing with a narcissist, because keep in mind, at the end of the day, he is a narcissist. They are very unpredictable. Somebody could have been, they are very unpredictable. Somebody could have been like, look, when am I getting my money? And he was like, well, wait a minute, I'm going to freeze the government. Ain't no telling what his mindset was, because my manager, she said her daughter was affected by that. She said her daughter came out the room crying, talking about, Mom, they froze my loans. Like, this is going to affect Black people going to college. So I don't know if she got it straightened back out, but that actually affected people. That temporary freeze, like all loans and everything was blocked. Financial aid, all of that was blocked.
Right. Yeah, it was. Well, it wasn't blocked. It was going to be blocked at 5:00 that evening. However, so many states got together and they ended up suing or pushing back on it, and it stopped. So it wasn't blocked yet, but it was going to be.
It was temporarily blocked. People couldn't access stuff. They could not access, Medicare payments was frozen. They couldn't pay people. It did a temporary.
I thought it hadn't taken effect yet. It was supposed
to. No, it was supposed to have taken effect at 5:00, but they had already still blocked it. Okay. Like some things were shut down to where like Medicare, like they couldn't pay it. That's what sent everybody into a frenzy, because they couldn't access their Medicare. Like the people over Medicare, they said they couldn't pay the doctors. Everything was froze up. And then, like I said, my manager, her daughter, her student loan was froze. So it did affect some people.
Yes. Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. But so I don't know. And
the system was already blocked before 5 p.m. I got to get up to speed on a lot of things. I have been kind of not watching it because, the last time he was in office, it gave me so much anxiety that I was like, oh, I'll never get that involved with it no more. But I'm looking at it from a different lens now. So we'll get back into it, but I hope it never get the way it was as far as, you know, the people falling out with each other and stuff like that. Hopefully we can have
This time, to be honest with you, Amora, this time I think it's going to be worse. Not as far as with people falling out, because his people are going to feel the wrath too.
Mm.
This ain't no, you know, his people are going to feel the wrath too. And I'm telling you, it's getting scary to me because, you know, when you hungry or you don't have no money or they cutting off your food stamps so they sending you half your check, desperate people do desperate things. So, you know, this can affect crime. This can affect a lot of different areas.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't, you know, it's
going to affect a lot.
Yeah, because
and it's worse this time.
I think it's going to be worse this time because people are going to be in straight survival mode. You know, so, you know, we're going to see what's going to happen, but this is going to be a long, and then he already got senators working on trying to get him another term. So I don't know how this, and then, you know,
That's not going to happen. To be honest with you, which I'm not praying on this or whatever, but you get older, not younger. Okay, so I don't see it happening because as we saw, Joe Biden, you know, President Biden deteriorated right before our eyes. You know what I'm saying? So I don't believe that he's going to get another term, but I do believe that he wants. I believe that the man wants to be a dictator, and you know how if it's not you, it's passed down to your son or your son's son or whatever the case may be. I really think he would love to keep being the president, whoever's the president, to keep in his family. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like Kim Jong over in North Korea, his father, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't he the president before his son became the president? So maybe he's trying to mirror that type of nation, but you know, hopefully not. But
yeah, but it's just scary because, you know, now they talking about he's trying to take over Greenland. I don't know what Trump is. His hand is in so many different pots, and it's just a lot going on with Donald Trump. But, you know, but the sad part about it is he got the Supreme Court wrapped around his finger. You know, the Supreme Court is usually the go-to. So, you know, we can think that it's impossible. Like, I would have never thought that he would have been able to take us back like this. But with the Supreme Court backing him, as far as I'm talking about him trying to get another term, you know, because the White House secretary, she said that the Constitution was unconstitutional. So they're creating their own laws every day. So I was like, I can't believe she just said that. She said the Constitution was unconstitutional. I was like, I ain't never even heard of such a thing.
But I do think the Constitution needs to be rewritten. You wouldn't agree?
Oh, a lot of things about the Constitution needs to be rewritten, but they're trying to fix it to suit their things, you know, their personal agendas is what they're doing.
Well, it was designed to suit them. It needs to be rewritten so it can be a little bit more inclusive.
Right.
Because if you really think about it, the Constitution was not designed for us to be in leadership, empowered, rich, any of that, successful. No, it was written for us to be subservient.
To a certain extent, because again, the Constitution is like the law of the land. So basically, that's what Martin Luther King Jr. used to get us to where we are. He used their own writing, their own words, the Constitution, all men are created equal. You know, so, but as far as some of the laws, I do believe that they need to be tweaked, but it's supposed to be for everybody. So that's kind of what they use to get a lot of laws passed. Like this, we're Americans. This is the American Constitution. We have the same rights and we have the same, you know, that was a strategy that Martin Luther King Jr. used, the U.S. Constitution. You know, because in the Constitution, it doesn't like, you know, segregate us in the Constitution. Like it don't say black or white. It's basically saying if you're American.
Right. I'm going to listen to the last little bit of this podcast and see where we are. Okay.
Okay, not a problem. Thank you for having me up. And yes, stay on it more. Well, I don't even have to say that because trust me, I know you are. Because when it starts getting hot, just keep us informed. Just keep your audience informed, and I'll be right here.
Okay, thank you. I do appreciate that, Latanya. Appreciate
Not a problem.
you. Okay. We're going to listen to a little bit more of what these ladies have to say.
One biracial man get elected president, that stuff was going to be different. And it wasn't. It actually made them accelerate whatever it is that they were doing, right? Because they needed to put us back in our proverbial places. And so I think we need to understand that we are now working in an environment where we're going to have to be strategic and intentional and not reactive. All this stuff that's happening is designed for you to overreact. The chaos is the point, right? Along with the cruelty. So we have to be strategic. I say this all the time.
Chaos is the point, okay? Like she said, is all cause, all these things are put in place to cause us to freak out, okay? They want to scare a lot of people, but however, we still got to be, I'm up here eating gummy bears, I'm sorry. We have to be vigilant, but it is caused to create chaos, okay?
Time when I talk to my followers that we've got to be strategic and intentional and thoughtful about what we're doing and how we're responding, and that the goal has to be our liberation, whatever that looks like for you. Some people, it looks like building your own thing inside of the system. Some people like me, it looks like selling everything and leaving and moving to Mexico. Whatever it looks like.
Oh, yes. That's
You
right.
got to do
Okay.
it.
So you're in Mexico right now, Anne
Oh,
Marie?
yes, ma'am. Hola.
Okay. Hola, ¿qué tal? Muy bien. Okay, so listen, this is what I was. There was a video that I saw because I comb the internet for people, because I feel like too many people go to the same people. I want to have a vast conversation, so that means we got to have a vast audience of people that come through. You left the country, ma'am. What was the breaking point for you, or the healing point? Because that was a move. Everyone was talking about doing what you need to do for yourself and pick it up and go on. If that's it, tell us the story.
Well, my mother, well, what it is, and I find for most of the people I talk to who have made this kind of a drastic decision to like completely redesign their lives, is my mother died, right? My mother died 4 years ago, almost 4 years ago. And she had been ill. She had Alzheimer's, but then it makes you think about when you're, especially your mother, and you had a good mother, and I had a good mother. I don't know what people do when they got a good parent, but I got good parents. Thank God my father is still here. But my mother, it's your mother, right? The person that brought you here is gone. And it made me spend time thinking about, am I living the life that I want to live? And maybe 8 weeks after my mother died, my nephew died. He was 29 years old. And we were close. And one of the things he and I bonded over was travel, because I worked in the international development sector. And so I had gotten to travel quite a bit in the job that I was in. But I was very unhappy in the job. And I was dealing with all the things that we deal with, especially in leadership positions, where white folks don't like it when Black people tell them to do what to do. They don't like it when Black intelligent women tell them what to do. And it doesn't matter how nicely you say it, how much sugar you put on it. If you're telling them something they don't want to hear, they don't like you and they have a problem with you, right? And you deal with that all the time if you are in any position of leadership. And so I already was thinking that I was unhappy even before my mother died. But I feel almost like when she died, it gave me permission, because my mother would have been outdone by me moving to Mexico. She would not have been happy about that. She would have been praying and fasting over it. And it kind of gave me permission to just do what I wanted to do. And I'm an attorney as well as an HR specialist. So I know how to leverage things and to get employers, especially bad actors and employers that are doing things that are discriminatory. So I basically did what I had, in my own personal time helped other people do, was I negotiated my way out of the situation with a large enough golden parachute to go live wherever the hell I wanted to live, which I chose was Mexico. And I will give a shout out to the Exodus Summit and Stephanie Perry. I do it anywhere I go, because if it was not for my sister sending me a video from Stephanie Perry, I probably would not have done it as quickly as I did. But because I followed her and because I joined the Exodus Summit, it made the mechanics of it, because you have to have a plan. You have to have a plan to execute. This is not something you just do. But money is a big part of it. Right? Money is the reason most people say they can't do it, not realizing they could probably live a whole lot more comfortably.
I've always stated this, but let's carry on. Let's carry on.
If they didn't live in America, right? So once you have the money question, for me, the money question wasn't a question because I had figured out how I was going to finance it was that I was going to get those who were doing things they had no business doing to finance it for me. And so that's how I actually started this business, was that once I got myself settled in Mexico, I was like, I like traveling and I also have a travel business, but I felt almost an obligation to help other women that looked like me do what I did if they could do it. And so that's what I do. I give people information about HR because I worked in HR and I understand how HR works and most employees do not. But my goal, my objective is to help as many Black women as possible cash out of these work environments. And that's what I do.
So in this climate, where you don't know if you take a package that you'll actually get the money, has that changed? Because there's been a lot of chaos, as you mentioned, in these recent days.
The federal government has always been probably the most inflexible entity to deal with in the context of discrimination, believe it or not, and negotiating your way out of those places. It's actually the hardest place to do that, right? So, I just messaged to my followers, if you have received one of those emails, please do not take the offer, right? Because it's bullshit, frankly. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but that's what it is.
Well, seriously.
Because we have to wait and see what the appropriations process is going to be. We have to see, and we have to make the representatives in the Congress get on the record on this. They need to be forced to vote on a budget package that allows this to happen. And we should make them do that. Don't make it easy for them if you're a federal worker. But if you are in the private sector, gird your loins is what I would say, because whatever happens there is going to trickle down. Now, I need people to understand because there's a lot of misinformation, right? And a lot of overreaction.
I'm sorry, it's a live radio show. So we have to go to a break and we got callers. Can you stick around? Anne-Marie? Okay. Anne-Marie Archer, she is the anti-HR lady who I have so many questions. Why Mexico? We'll take your calls as well. Amber's sticking around as well. We'll be right back. Anne-Marie, when did you cut all your hair off? Amber just did this in December.
Like 20, it's been a while. It's been almost 10 years, I would say.
Oh wow. Okay. I'm brand new. I just shaved my hair.
I threw the wig right out the window on the way to work one day.
You threw it out on the highway? Somebody had to pick that up.
On 13th Street Northwest, Washington, D.C. Yes,
what
I did.
Did that?
It was already shaved under, because I just felt like, and this is not an indictment against anyone who wears wigs and weaves, but I felt like I couldn't be myself.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was hiding.
Yeah.
And I was just tired of it. And then things itch. And
I thought they were going to talk more on the DEI. Hold on, you guys.
Well, at least I'm not. Why am I still wearing this wig? And I'm off the plantation, looking just like this.
Hunter is.
So I actually thought they were going to talk more on the DEI because I hate when people do this and their title says one thing and they hit you with something totally different. Not saying that they didn't speak briefly on it, but majority of it was not dealing with that. Anyway, I just wanted to hear the representative Jasmine Crockett. I wanted to hear her take on the DEI when the young ladies were up here so they could explain it a little bit better, because people that are in politics, that's they understand it a little bit more of what's going on, and they understand the need for it and the harm that it will eventually cause, the trickle effects that it will cause. So I'm going to research a little bit more, and I'm going to bring you guys that. I'm not going to be doing these lives a lot, dealing with politics or even talking about what's going on, but maybe, every so often, okay? So every so often we will get one of these in and just talk about what is going on. Now, we already know we have an administrative that's going to keep us on our toes and something new going to happen every damn day. We're going to wake up and we're going to be shocked, okay? That's just what it is. That's how it was the first term, and it's going to be like this and probably worse this term, okay? She said Roland Martin talked more about the DEI with Jasmine. Oh, he did? Let me pull him up right quick. I really don't listen a lot to Roland Martin. Hold on one second. I didn't listen that much. Let me see. He's live now. He's definitely live now. And MAGA's mission to dismantle diversity. I don't want to stream his live because I don't want to be struck. So let me just see something right quick. Let me just see if I can get straight to that particular interview. I don't see it. I don't see it. And his lives is entirely too damn long. I mean, he about like us. He's very long-winded, 3, 7, 5, 10-hour lives. So yeah, no, I would have to actually go through and pull out inserts. I'm definitely not going to play a 3, 4, 5-hour lives. Okay, I'm not going to do that because that's crazy. Let me read a little. Executive, legislative, and judicials are co-equal. He wants a damn dictatorship. I agree with you. I believe that he wanted one the first go round while you playing. I absolutely believe that. He fits that bill in every way. His language, his actions, everything about him screams, I want to be forever in charge. Okay. She said, it is appalling that since he has become president, he has taken over all social media sites. Now he has an emergency live going on. Who has an emergency live going on? Donald Trump? What? Girl, say it ain't so. Hold on. Is he live right now? Where? I don't see Donald Trump live right now. Is he?
They weren't releasing prisons into our country, and they weren't releasing mental institutions in, but some bad dudes were coming in. Right?
What channel do you see him live on? Let me know. What channel is he live on? Miss Judy? Oh, okay, hold on.
Let me go across to Mr. Amitabh Kant.
I wish I could attribute to who it was, but the quote was, and I think it was very wise, where they said the problem that Ukraine is facing is not that they're running out of money, it's that they're running out.
Oh, but you know what? He's not talking about the. It looks like he's only talking about. Hold on.
Made by the Russian Federation, but also by the Ukrainians and the United States that lend itself there. It's also important that there be.
It sounds like he's talking about international news or something.
Let me go across to Mr. Amitabh Kant joining.
Anyway, I'm not going to stream it because I see what you're talking about, but I don't think that is what we were just talking about. So I'm not going to play that. I don't want him to strike my ass anyway. She said Roland is very detailed in his topics on DEI and administrative. I'll go listen to Roland, but I don't want to play no 2 or 3 hour live on here. His lives are very, very long. So maybe I'll just take out some inserts or something like that and speak about it. But I definitely don't want to just stream the whole live because, you know, they do not like that at all, okay? But anyway, we're going to end here. I literally just wanted to come back and touch on it a little bit, you guys. She said, your thumbnail is fire. You like that? You like the thumbnail? I put him in the room with me. Let me show people. I put Trump in the room with me, baby, okay? I put Trump as sitting there. You gonna sit right beside me, Joker. You hear me? Like Trump, you gonna sit beside me. No. I put him in the room with me. Okay. You're gonna sit right beside me as I do these. So I was looking for more on this from being Crump. Why being Crump though? Crump is going to get his money because there's always going to be black injustice. So if you fix black injustice, being Crump is out of work. So he's going to forever get his money because they're forever going to be black injustice. So I wouldn't expect to hear from him because this is right down his alley. You know what I mean? I probably shouldn't say it like that because I know he fights, injustice, black on black crime and stuff like this. But this makes his job, 10 times easier, if you ask me. Oh, Don Lemon, yeah. Don Lemon, he's pretty cool. Yeah, so, but yeah, I put Trump in the room with me. So if y'all see Trump in the room with me, this is him signing the Black History Proclamation as if it wasn't already a holiday being acknowledged, right? He gonna make sure of it. But anyway, I did go back and look. All presidents do the same thing. So it wasn't just a Trump thing. We always want to throw him under the bus because you know how we feel about him. But to be honest with you, all presidents do what he did. She said Don Lemon is a very good detail within 1 hour. Yeah, so I don't mind doing an hour, but 3, 4, 5 hours, yeah, no. She said Trump looking thinner and older. Well, he is older. Trump is what, 80 something? I mean, he's old. He's older. Okay. He's definitely getting older. But anyway, you guys, I'm gonna close out. I know the internet sister, she probably gonna put it on the floor, walk somebody like a dog, and I'm sure she don't want to talk about this Trump stuff. So anyway, let me, I'm going to call her when I get off and see what time she's going live. And, I thought he was 80 something. He's only 78. Damn. Okay. I thought he was in his 80s already. Damn, 78. Oh yeah. Okay. He's getting tired looking. He's definitely getting tired looking. All right. But anyway, I love y'all. I'm going to talk to y'all later because, we'll forever be here discussing this topic. Okay. So we will be back and I will be more, maybe I'll, while I'm cleaning the kitchen, I will go and listen to Don Lemon's breakdown on the DEI, okay? She said, great, live or more. Enjoyed this and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much, Joanne. I do appreciate y'all so very much. Until next time, hit that thumbs up button. We're out.
Because they can't make $1 without mentioning down one of our names.
Yay! She kept talking about that family.
Hoes over there.
She kept talking about that family. 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 That family. She kept talking about that family. Talking about that family. These motherfuckers don't be want to regret something. Because
they can't make $1 without mentioning now